Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Node Networks. In this tutorial, we will see about the administration, logging and reporting in Sophos XG Firewall. Let's begin with the administration first. Over here from the left pane, you will select on administration. You will see that for the very first step is licensing. So on the licensing, it will give you the device registration details, what is the model number, what is the company name for on which this firewall is registered for which company, who is the contact person, the registered email address. Moving on, it will provide you the bundle details, the license bundle. See, we have a different license modules, base firewall, network protection, web protection. So it is giving you the status of those licenses one by one. It is saying evaluating since we have downloaded the evaluation licenses and the expiration date it is giving you. Then moving on to the device access, the next tab, just scroll down and you will see that over here you will see that multi-factor authentication default admin password setting. Basically, what is default admin password setting? If you want to change your admin password, you can change it from here. You have to give the current password over here, and then you have to define the new password as per the policy, and you have to simply repeat the password and apply. Then you will be able to log into the admin user of the Sophos SG firewall, the web interface or a GUI you can say, or a CLI using an admin username. You have to log into the new password. This is how you can change the admin password. Then you can configure multi-factor authentication for the admin user. Coming to the next step, admin and user setting. If you remember in the initial configuration wizard, we have set the host name as lab firewall. That particular host name can be changed from here. Then comes the admin console and end user interaction. We are seeing that from the start of this tutorial, we are accessing the Sophos XG firewall, the web GUI, the web or a GUI. You are accessing the GUI of the firewall using the port 4444. You're putting the LAN IP address, or you can say your management firewall management IP address with colon 4444. If you can see it over here, so you can change this port number from 4444 to any other port if you need to. User portal HTTPS port. As we have seen that when we were accessing a user portal, whether it was for the authentication purpose or for the SSL VPN portal, you can say we were accessing it through HTTPS port that was 443. You can change this default port to another port if you need to change. Then the certificate which we are using is the appliance certificate. Moving on, it's giving about the redirecting user to the captive portal. It is set to the user IP address of the first internal interface. Even you can change it to a different host name, or you can say that use firewall configured host name. Then comes the login security. You can define over here, like if the session is being inactive for so and so time, then simply log out the admin session. You guys have to just check this box, and you can define the timer as per your requirement. When you check this box and apply the setting, it means that it is you are saying to firewall log out of the admin session after 10 minutes of inactivity. If there is no activity for 10 minutes, the firewall will log out automatically. If you can change the default time from 10 minutes to 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever you want as per your requirement. And then comes the block login. It is when you apply this kind of setting, what it means that after 5 unsuccessful attempts, if you are trying to log into the firewall by putting the wrong password, so after 5 unsuccessful attempts from the same IP, like for example, I am accessing a firewall from IP, let's say 10.1.1.150. If I try to, this means that if I tried unsuccessful attempt within 60 seconds from this IP address, my login access will be blocked for 5 minutes. So you can change the timing over here. You can say that, and you can change the successful attempt numbers also. You can say that after 3 unsuccessful attempts from the same IP within 1 minute, 60 seconds, 1 minute, block the login access for 5 minutes. You can define 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want to simply apply it. This is how you will control the login security. Then comes administrator password complexity setting. So whenever you, as we have seen, you can change the admin user password from going to the device access. So when you are configuring the new password, what all the password policy should be enforced, then only your password will change. You can define those password policy from here under admin and user setting, enable password complexity check, and you can say that it should be 10 characters, or you can say 5 characters, or you can say like 15 characters as per your company policy. Then you will enforce that you have to use at least one uppercase and one lowercase letter, one numeric character. It should increase one special character, and you will apply the setting. Then it will be enforced. So when the next time the admin password is changed, if you want to change, you have to follow all these things. Then only will be able to change the admin password. Similarly, for the user password, whether it is for the authentication purpose, you are using the local user, I mean, or you are using the user for the SSL VPN. When you are configuring those passwords, this policy will be enforced from here. If you want to change it, simply you can change it as per your requirement. Then comes a login disclaimer setting, which is by default not applied. If you want to apply, you will simply check this box, enable login disclaimer, and it has given you a pre-configured template. If you click here, you will see. Let me just come again. It is saying to preview the disclaimer message. This is a pre-configured template. It is saying that access warning. This is a private computer system. Unauthorized access or use is prohibited. So even you can customize this by clicking over here. If you click here, it will take you to this page. Over here, you will not only customize the disclaimer setting, but there are other options also, like let's say authentication. If you remember, when your login used to fail for the AD policy, or for the local, for the client user, it was giving that clientless user access not permitted. This kind of message we have seen when we have enabled the captive portal through AD user and through local authentication. So when this kind of message we have seen that you have been disconnected by admin, when we were just disconnecting the user from the Sophos XG Firewall. So you can customize this kind of messages from here. Go into administration. In the message tab, you will find all these options over here for SMTP, for SMS customization. So now for over here, our area of interest is disclaimer setting. You will go to administration over here. You will find a disclaimer setting. This is a pre-configured template. What you have to do if you want to change it, like let's say for example, I will say this is a private computer system and it belongs to Noor Networks. So I will simply save this, and then again coming over here in admin and user setting, going to login disclaimer setting, you will simply check this box enable and you will apply. Before that, let's see the preview message which we have changed. Click here and then you will see that it is changed. Let's apply this setting and we will try to again log into the appliance. This setting is applied. I will simply log out from here and I will try to log in again to the appliance. And you will see the login disclaimer message is coming, and the message which we have changed now, which we have edited, it is showing you the changed message. This is a private computer system and it belongs to no networks. And after giving all this warning, it is saying that if you agree, click I accept to continue the access, or if you click I decline, you will be log out. If you click I decline, it will take you to the login page again. Let's say I accept and it will continue to the login. It will give you the access. Now you are logged into your appliance. Let's again move to the administration and complete the remaining part as well. Administration, again going to admin user and setting. We have completed this tab as well. The last was login disclaimer setting. Moving on to the notification setting. In the backup and restore lab, we have seen that you have option mode from where you can send a backup to the email server as well. So for sending the email server, we need a email setting, email configuration setting need to be done on the appliance, on the Sophos XG Firewall. So if you go in the notification setting from administration, in notification setting you will find a mail server setting. Now over here you have two options. Either you can use built-in email server or you can use external email server. Let's see first built-in email server. Built-in email server means the server which is already built in the appliance. So it is asking you that from which email address you want to send those emails. Let's say for example, we will define like administrator at noornetworks.com. So the user who will receive it, he will see that the email address is administrator at noonetworks.com. Let's say, for example, this notification or the email address need to be sent to your IT support team. So we will say IT underscore support at noonetworks.com. Management interface IP address, which is of course 110.1.1.200, and just click on test email to test the setting. Over here it is giving you what will the body if you have received this email, you have correctly configured your email address and so on. So you will just click on send and you will receive an email. I will do one thing. I will just put my email address over here, and over here I will be changing to like administrator at lab.com, and I will use over here like my email address I will put over here. So I will simply click on mail, send. It is saying that send a test email, check the mail server to make sure it is delivered. Okay, I will just go and check if it is delivered. So guys, like definitely this was not a genuine email over here. So I have put a dummy email, so definitely it will not work. But yes, when you are doing in the live environment where you have a proper domain and everything with you, definitely it will work for you. Then comes the external mail server. External mail server is the one, like let's say for example, you have your office email server over here. So you can just give the mail server address, the port number, if authentication is required, the authentication, username, password, connection security. If it is none, then you will simply say none, or whether it is SSL, TLS, according to your whatever the setup you have in your company for the mail server, you will put it and simply you will click on test email. If it is successful, simply apply. Then comes the email setting, the default setting which we have done. It is shown over here. Moving on to the next part, that is the logging part, log viewer. What you will do, you will simply click on log viewer over here and this page will open for you. From here you can see the live logs going on the appliances. Then you have options whether you want to see admin logs, advanced threat protection logs, application filter, web filter, email, and so many options you have over here. IPS malware. So let's say for example the firewall logs is being shown over here. Even you can see the admin logs over here. You will see that the admin is login from this source IP 10.1.1, and whatever the changes are being done, it is being shown over here. That we have recently changed the login disclaimer setting, it is shown over here. But over here it will show a logs for the limited time only. If you want to have previous logs also in the coming time, we will see that as well. Then you have a filter to define that what if you want to filter the log as per the log component, message, source IP, that also you can do and filter the logs. Timer filter is there for all the records, last 10 minutes, and so on. You can test your policy from policy test. You will define a URL, and then let's say, for example, you will say that www.google.com. There is a possibility when you have configured everything perfectly, you have an issue in the internal network, right? Due to some other reason, and your network internet is not working, maybe the issues with some other network, and due to that reason the PC is not able to reach the internet. So in that case you can see whether the policy which you have configured is right or no, it is working or not. So you will say www.google.com. If you want to authenticate a user, you will authenticate a user from here. If you want to simply test the policy which is not having any kind of authentication or anything, you can do that. Test method, whether you want to test only web policy or you want to test the firewall. You will define a source IP, let's say 10.1.1.150 source zone. You want to auto detect a zone, or you know that it is in a LAN zone, you will say LAN zone and you will simply click on test button. And it is saying that the result is accepted, proxy web proxy is not used, which means and the user is user authenticated. It means that this machine has a user authentication and the result is accepted, which means the internet is working perfectly on this machine. Now, if in case some user report that the internet is not working, then you don't need to focus on your rule, but you will be focusing more on the network side, that there might be some internal issue, but your policy is working perfect. So anything, the traffic coming from the PC to the firewall, it is allowed. Then moving on to the reporting part, we will see the reportings in the Sophos XG Firewall. Clicking on a report from here, from the left side of the page, you have a dashboard. Over here, it is showing you the traffic dashboard. This is a traffic dashboard over here. It is shown. Then you can just choose multiple options. Security dashboard, you can see. And you can see executive report. You can see unified threat quotient. Report may take some time to load, please wait. Okay, and then over here you have an option that you whether you want to see that particular report fully, or you want to only see a user part, or application categories, application web categories, so that you can define from here. Then thereafter we have reportings for application and webs. This part will show you the reporting, which will cover the application filtering and web filtering part. So under application and web, over here you have user app risk and usage, web policy override, web risk and usage. This you can basically see, and even not only you can see, if you want to generate, simply you have to click a generate button over here, and then it is allow you to download the report as well. So if you want to download in HTML format, PDF format, or Excel format, even that you can do by clicking over here, and the report will be generated and it will be downloaded in the PDF format over here. You will see that download has started and it has completed. You can open this particular download, and you can see that a report is being downloaded for user scan app. This is a downloaded report. So guys, like from the dashboard, whatever report you want to, you can do it. If you want to, like the report is quite big. If you want to customize like only the traffic dashboard of the application you want to see, even you can do that, and you can download it from which date to which date you want to see. Even you can customize that. So let's say, for example, moving on to network and threats. Over here, you will have an option for intrusion attack, advanced threat protection, wireless protection. So in short, each and every module report is available under reporting. And what you have to do is you have to go to that right tab over there. You have to select the right module, and in that module, what all parameters you want to cover in the reporting, that you can simply say, and from which date to which date, that you can see. Simply will generate. Then you have a report for the VPN, like whether you want to go for VPN or SSL VPN. Let's see for the SSL VPN, the lab which we have done recently. Remote access user. If you go to remote access user, from here it is showing nothing. But if you customize the date, let's say for example, we will say from 1st March 2022 to 22nd, 27th March 2022, you will generate it, and you can view the report that we have created. If you remember VPN user one, that report it is shown over here. Moreover, you can have a much more detail, and if you want to download, you can download this as well. Yeah, we haven't configured any email usage. Like let's say for example, we have only sent one email. If you remember, that was administrator at lab.com in the beginning, sometime before we have sent, and it was sent to this email. It is showing that from this email to this email, it was shown, and how much was the size and all that is shown. That were 957 bytes and 957 bytes received. Recently, now sometime before in the email notification setting, we have sent one email, if you remember, so that is shown over here. Then moving on to the compliance part, from here you will see the admin user setting and all. So it's HIPPA show. If you just customize that, and you will select events over here and view all, it will give you all the events, which will include event summary, admin events, authentication events. Authentication event is a local event, or SSL VPN events, system events will be shown over here. What all changes are being done on the system, your firewall status, your interface status, and so on. Then, if you want to see the admin events over here, you will simply go to event. This is moreover being used for checking the activities and also going to reports in compliance. in under show you have to select events, and over here you have to define admin events, and you will see all these events over here. Whatever changes we have done and we will be doing, that all kind of changes will be shown in admin events. So recently we have changed a login disclaimer setting, that it is shown that the admin, the source IP has done this kind of changes. So these all things were definitely there from where you can view reports. But at the same time, you can also do one thing, that you can customize the report. Okay, customize with all this report. Now, from here dashboard, you can only limit the report to this. You can send traffic dashboard, security dashboard, executive report, and so on. From application, you can take only application reporting. From network and threats, you can take network and threat reporting. But if you want all these things to be covered in single report, you will custom it. You will custom it, and you will say whether the search type is web surfing report or web virus report. Then you can create a report as per your requirement, a report type, the summary report, or you want a detail, that you can define. And moving on, what you can do, then over here you will see option that the report type, whether it is summary or detail, then search in domain, search for user, domain, username, and so on. So you can just see the customize, whether you want the report to be customized. And in that case, you will come over here and you will define the, I mean, not define, you will define the filters as per your requirement, and you can see the customized report. Now let's say for example, definitely daily you have to come, and then you have to log in and you have to check the reports by defining a filter. You want like each and every report to be sent to your email on daily basis or weekly basis. So what you can do, you can schedule the reports and it will be sent to you. So what you have to do in this case, going to reports, you will find a setting button, show report setting. You will click on this and you will see the custom view. What you will do over here, you will add over here, click on add, and you will customize the report. Okay, what we are doing, custom view, and you will click on add button, and you will say that custom view, you will say this is a weekly report. And over here in weekly report, like let's say for example you want to see the web content activities, there are so many options, but you can only define up to 8 reports in one group. Okay, let's say for example on a weekly basis you want to see a SSL VPN activity, you will just check this box. Then you want to check on a weekly basis client-led access, that the clientless access, which is a web access users activity, you will say this you want to check. Then you want to check the security heartbeat, like when you have a Sophos central and you have defined synchronized security. So that option you want to check, or else you want to check a security heartbeat of a ATP, advanced threat protection. In that case, you can just customize the report or block server access. This you can define. And you want to check on weekly basis the event report, admin events, who all have access the appliance. All you want. So you will just check all this box. You have given the name for the report as a weekly report, and you will save it. Now this is the report you have created, and you want this report to be sent to your email, but at the same time this should be scheduled, right? So you will go to report scheduling. Over here you will be adding over here report scheduling, and what you want, a report or a security audit report. Let's say for example we want a report for now. So you will give the name of the report. You will say weekly report, to which email address you want to send. It should be a genuine email address. Let's say for example we will say support at lab.com. Report type is a report group. Report group is executive report, or you want what kind of things over here. You can say we have created a weekly report, right? So we will say weekly report. See, either the report which we were weaving over there, that you can say, but we have customized a report, right? We have customized a report over here as a weekly report. So what we are going to do? Oh, it lost. Oh, no problem. We'll say weekly report. Which email address? I will say support at lab.com. Report group. Report group. What is the report group? The one which we have created now, the customized, that is weekly report. What is the frequency? I will say weekly. Send email at 1 hour. At every 1 hour it will be sent on weekly basis. I will say no, 24 hours on every Monday. If you want, you will say Monday, whichever day you want to define, you can define it and simply save it. So basically, what you did in the first step, in the report setting, first step you have created a customized report, and then in the second step you have scheduled that to which email it need to be sent, at what time, what is the duration. This all thing we have defined. So this was a report scheduling. And not only one customized report, you can define several customized report. If you want a daily report, that also you can add it over here. You can simply customize the report and then you will schedule it for the daily basis. This was a report scheduling. If you want to create a security audit report, you will click on add, you will click on security audit report. What will be the name of report? For example, I will say sec audit. Organization name, I will say, let's say for example new networks. To which email address? I will say, like for example, support at lab.com. What is the frequency you need for the security audit report? It's daily or weekly. Then it says that report the for the previous day or since midnight, like from midnight to midnight. It will send create a report and send to the email address on which day you want. If it is Monday, okay, and you will simply save it. So you will see that under security audit report also one scheduler is enabled now, and it is saying that whether you want to generate now. If you will say generate now, right away it will be sent to your email address, or else it will be sent as per the scheduled. Then comes the data management. You have the reportings, and also this particular reports should be maintained in the box for how much time. For the retain user app risk and usage lost of logs of the past, it will be 6 months. You can define 1 month to up to 7 month and 1 year. So up from one starting from 1 month to 12 months, you can keep the reports. But remember that the best practice is 6 months, because when it goes to 12 months, the utilization of the firewall will go high, which will impact the network performance. It is highly recommended 3 months, but 6 months is also okay. And because the logs and reporting as per it is upon as per your company policy, and moreover it is 3 months or 6 months for any of the organization. So it is up to you, like for how much time you need to maintain the record. So for user app risk, for ssl vpn, there will be option, like let's see over here ssl vpn. So for ssl vpn you want the log to be 1 month, so you can customize as per your requirement and you will simply click on apply. Then comes a manual purge. Like let's say for example, you observe that the logs are no more for your use, or else you can say that the utilization is going high, and the reason for the high utilization is the storage. I mean the reports are being stored, so you can purge it. Purge means basically deleting the reports. So a report module, whether you want to delete a certain module or you want to delete all the reports. And then when you say all the reports, custom the duration of purge all. If you say purge all entire reports will be flushed. If you say you want to delete all the report but custom duration, like let's say for example for last 1 month I want to delete, so I will say that from February 2022 to March 2022 I want to purge the report. Then you click on purge, all the reports will be flushed out from the system. And then the last comes the custom logo. When the report is generated, you will have a logo. If you want to define your own logo in the report, you can just custom it and define that logo as well. So this was all about the reporting, guys. And then we have already seen about the current activities, where when your user connect, you will find the live users. You have a live connection options, IPsec connection. When SSL VPN user connect, you will find remote user options. Thereafter, we have seen the diagnostic options over here, policy tester and log viewer. We have already seen. You can just ping from the firewall. Like let's say, for example, if you want to ping the global DNS IP address, you can select the interface, or see straight away you can simply click on ping and it will be pingable. If you want to ping from the particular source, I mean from like let's say port A, port B, or port C, it's pinging. Then that also you can define over here. You can trace a certain host name or IP address. Name lookup option is available. Route lookup option is available. Console related troubleshooting report you can generate from here. Moving on, then you have an option like, let's say for example, if you want to take a support from the Sophos team, you can simply click on admin over here on the right top right side. You will click on support button and it will take you to the support website, from where you can create a ticket and provide the details so that the technical team will contact you as and when required. Then there is an option for console. Basically, you can access the CLI by clicking over here on the console. The CLI will open. Click on enter button and you have to put your password. And you can even work for, similarly how you work for the GUI of the firewall. You know how we have access from here. Also, you can access. Additionally, you can also access the appliance from the putty. So we will open the putty. You will say 172.6. The IP address of the firewall 10.1.1.200 on port 22. Simply open this and put the username as admin, password, and you can see it is saying you the disclaimer setting message is being shown. Are you sure you want to continue? Say why for years. And from here you can do the configuration for the network, for the system, for the route configuration. If you want to access device console, say 4 number 4 and click enter, you will be into the console. Let's exit from here. Then if you want, you have a reboot device. You have an option for rebooting the device. You have an option for shut down the devices. So now, if let's say for example, if you want to upgrade the firmware, this firewall is being there now. If there is any firmware upgrade coming, when you log into the appliance, at that time you will see the pop up that the new firmware upgrade is available. So if you want to upgrade that, you will be going to the last, scrolling down at last second last option. There is backup and firmware. First thing what you will be doing over here is you will be taking the backup of the appliance. Clicking on local over here, you will say backup now, and once the backup is ready, it will give you option to download. It is saying backup has been taken successfully. So what you have to do, you click local and you will download the backup. Once you have the backup downloaded, you will click on firmware over here. Now the firmware is not available. Basically, when the firmware is available, it will be shown over here, or else you can say check on new firmware and you will get a new firmware. So what you will do, you will simply download the firmware. It is saying no upgrades available. If any upgrade come at that time, you will simply download that upgrade and you will apply the setting. Once you apply the setting, your firmware upgrade will start. If in worst of worst case anything goes wrong, you have a backup downloaded. Simply you have to restore. We have seen how to restore in the backup and restore tutorial. Then you have hotfix option available over here. The best practice is you check on this box that allow automatic installation of hotfixes and apply. And over here you have a default configuration language is English. If you know other language and you can manage it, then definitely you can choose that language also from here and apply. Then comes the last pattern updates. Over here there are several patterns like AP firmware, advanced threat protection, the antivirus pattern is there, geographical location, and so many patterns are there. So basically what you can do, you will simply just, you have already said that apply automatically, so it will apply automatically. If it is not applied, you will click on update pattern now and it will start to update. If there is any manual pattern that you want to get from the Sophos website, that also you can do manually from downloading that file, browsing it and uploading from here. And the setting is available over here for the pattern download and installation. Auto update is on and it will check at interval of every 2 hours for the pattern updates. So guys, that's all about administration, logging and reporting of the Sophos XG Firewall. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please subscribe it now and do share with your friends. Thanks and see you in the next tutorial.